The Uffington White Horse is one of the most incredible prehistoric sites in the world.
It's 3,000 years old. Part of its mystery is, of course, its meaning and its purpose. Why would this horse be carved into the side of this hill? The answer may lie in its location. This stretch of the ridgeway marked the boundary between three Iron Age tribes. Each tribe minted its own coins, and archaeologists can trace their approximate territories by mapping where these coins have been found.
So the White Horse may have been a meeting place for these three tribes, or perhaps it was made as a warning sign by one of the tribes to ward off their neighbours.
Below the White Horse is Dragon Hill, a naturally occurring hill that was flattened for ceremonies several hundred years after the White Horse was first carved. According to local folklore, it marked the site where St. George slayed the dragon. The patch of ground here marks the spot where the dragon's blood spilled onto the earth, poisoning it forever.
This old story led to a more modern belief that the White Horse was actually not a horse at all, but a dragon. This, however, can't be the case.
We know from Iron Age coins and artifacts that horses were prevalent in Iron Age art. However, we don't have any depictions of dragons. We don't even know if dragons existed in the mythology of these tribes.
If it was a dragon, it would be the first and only depiction of a dragon that we have from this era, whereas horses are everywhere.
Some say the horse is a representation of the goddess Epona, but that's likely to be too early. Epona doesn't seem to arrive in Britain until after the Roman invasion.
Horses were being used in battle for the first time during the Iron Age. Carving one onto a hillside would show your neighbours you had horses and you weren't afraid to use them.
To further add to this theory, there is a hill fort above the White Horse which did have significant defences. There haven't been any finds to suggest there was military action that took place here, but perhaps the fort was deterrent enough.
But beyond a show of power, the horse could have had a spiritual significance. It's built just below some burial mounds, and some have theorised that the horse represents death and rebirth.
We can't overlook the fact that the horse is viewed best from above. Could it have been carved for the pleasure of some celestial being? We can't say for sure, but it is tantalizing.
One of the most amazing things about this horse is how it survived all of this time. As you can see, the lines on the carving are incredibly thin. It would only take 30 years for the grass to grow over it and it would be covered forever. Every 7 years or so, the horse would be re-chalked. It's a custom that was well established by the 18th century, and we know this from a newspaper article.
It's called the Scouring of the White Horse. It was a festival with cheese rolling, wrestling, drinking, and music.
There's no source that tells us how the horse was maintained for 3,000 years. We only know it from recent history, really. But in local folklore, it's believed that if the horse is ever allowed to fade away, that the land would suffer and the spirits of the hill would grow restless. I think this story might have played an important part in the horse being cared for and looked after all these years. It's living proof of how folk tales bring people together.
It survived countless religious changes, the Roman invasion, the Norman invasion, plagues, wars. No matter what, people came together to preserve the horse. Its meaning and original purpose lost, but its significance has never been forgotten.